Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jeremy here with you on another video about my favorite crypto and yours, Theta. Now, I don't know if you've checked things out lately. I'm sure that you have, especially if you're watching this video. But the price of Theta is just exploding. And this is, I believe, only the beginning. But listen, if you like learning how to make money and you want to follow along on my journey of how I try to make money online, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And if you're interested in crypto, I put a link below. You can go subscribe to my mailing list, and I send out a lot of great content there, so go check that out. With that said, let's get back to it. So check this out. Today's date is March 23rd. I am honestly late into the game of Theta. If you come down here and look at this chart of Theta, man, I wish that I would have got in way back here when it was 8 cents. And I'm sure that there's some of you watching this video that did get in when Theta was 8 cents, which is crazy to think about. I have only been in Theta for a short period of time, but I can tell you that my holdings are up dramatically. And let's look at this chart for a second. We go over here. This is year to date. So this would be since January 1 of this year. Theta was down here in $2, and I'm sure some of you are probably looking at Theta around this mark and thinking, should I buy in, should I not buy in? And it sort of just chugged along until February, and then February you see this little bump up to 350 or so, and then it sort of pulled back a little bit to $3, and then boom, it's just been on a steady rise since then. And even if you look at these pullbacks, I've heard a lot of people say they're going to wait for the pullback and then they're going to buy. Guys, I don't know that there's going to be any significant pullback. Most of these pullbacks have been just a small correction. What's this? 450, and it dropped down to 380. So you're talking 70 cents. None of these have been more than about 50 to 70 cents. That's probably the biggest pullback or drawback that you're going to see. And look at this. This is just in the last, let me go back to 7-day. You look at all of these, there are not very many corrections. It's just sort of chugging along. $8, and it bumps up to $9, and then it pulls back here, and then boom, up to $11, $11.50. And you can see where we're at right now, at $11.79 as of March 23rd. And I really truly believe, because of the technology that Theta has, that this could go way higher. I mean, it could compete on the level of Ethereum, especially with NFTs, which is built into Theta. The extremely low cost of transactions on Theta, especially when you look at the price of transactions on Ethereum. I tried to transfer some Ethereum a month or two ago, and it was like 12% of what I was trying to send would have been lost in fees. So I just held on to it for the time being. I think the future is Theta. I think there's so much coming with Theta just in the next year. And look at this. Let's look over here to TFuel, which is the the actual other coin token involved with Theta, the payment token. If we look at this, it was at a penny, less than a penny. Let's just go to year to date. We'll just look at the beginning of this year, 2021. TFuel was down here at 2 cents, 3 cents, 8 cents, and then you see this huge spike up to 41 cents. It pulled back to 35 or so, and now it's way up here at 46 cents. And historically, if you look at when Theta launched, it was like 1 to 5. So there were 5 Theta tokens for every, or I should say the price of TFuel to Theta was 1 to 5. We are way off from that right now. If we just do a simple calculation, Theta is 1176 divided by TFuel, 24 to 1, 25 to 1. Now, I don't know. Obviously, there's some inflation built into TFuel, so that will change over time. I don't know what it will settle on, but it seems relatively high right now. I think that price will come up of TFuel, and it will get closer in line with Theta. Either way, if you would have bought even a month ago, you would have seen significant gains. You probably would have seen about 100% gains on Theta, and you probably would have seen about 500% gains. I'm at close to 600% gains on TFuel. So that's incredible. And here's the other thing to think about. If you look at the future of Theta Mainnet 3, which is going to introduce TFuel staking and uptime mining, doesn't even launch for another 29 days. So all of this growth that you've seen is building up to this Mainnet 3 that is going to be launching. Not only that, if you're in the United States, it is still not easy to get Theta. Now, I created a video, 2 different videos on how to get Theta in the US, so I will link that up here in a card, and you can go check that out on how to get Theta if you haven't. Think about when Theta finally hits Coinbase and what that's going to do for the price. It will basically, all these people that have been asking constantly, how do I get Theta in the US? How do I get Theta in the US? You can see it all over Facebook. How do I buy Theta? All these people in the US are trying to buy Theta, but it's not completely straightforward on how to do it. Now, it's not difficult if you know what you're doing, but it's just not as easy as logging onto Coinbase, which is the largest exchange out there in the US, and just tapping on buy Theta. So when it hits Coinbase, I expect to see a huge rise. Now, whether that'll pull back, who knows? But I just think we're on a huge trajectory moving up with Theta. And then again, if you haven't seen the video on their second patent that came out, I'll link that up here somewhere. But they got a second US patent for high transaction throughput micropayments. Still have a huge team behind Theta. You got Steve Chen, which is a co-founder who is an advisor for Theta. The Guardian nodes and the Edge nodes are rising. It was in the 2000s just a few weeks ago. Now we're into 3,315. And so all of that's going on. You've got these enterprise validator nodes, and likely you're going to have, this is mere speculation, so don't take anything that I say. Before we get too far into it, remember that none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on a computer on the internet who's trying to figure out how to build a wealth online. And I'm going to stumble, I'm going to fall, so do your own due diligence and see what makes sense for you and your family. There's going to be other large companies, maybe Apple, maybe Netflix, who knows, or what other companies that might want to get online with the Theta network because of how it's going to reduce the costs of streaming across the web. And so when you get these big players that come in, what do you think that's going to do to the price? And not only that, let's go up here. We go to Guardian Monitor. We can see all of the different Guardian nodes that are out there and how much Theta is staked. Okay, so this is the part that I was looking for. Guardians, these are all the Guardians, the validators, and then the total. So there's a 305.4 million Theta staked on Guardian nodes and 265 million 0.9 staked on the validator nodes. That means there's 571 million Theta that are staked. And there's only 1 billion Theta in circulation. So that means that there's only roughly 430 million, 429 million Theta that are even available to be sold on all of the exchanges. And as that number goes down because people get to their 1,000 Theta and start staking them, you're going to see the ability to buy Theta shrink and get smaller and harder to get, and the price go up and up and up. So that's something to keep in mind, is looking at this amount staked and the total amount staked compared to the number of Theta that are in circulation completely. So that's just something to be made aware of. So listen, there is so much potential for Theta, in my personal opinion. Do your own due diligence to figure out if it makes sense for you. If you haven't seen the video on how to buy Theta, if you're in the United States, I'm going to link that right over here. You can go check that out. As always, if you like these kind of videos, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you do, and share it with your friends. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing, and I will see you on the next video.